or in TV rather, is honestly wondering where Kerpal is. So it was like, oh, he didn't play. This is the final, and Kerpal isn't here. Something must be wrong.
Yeah, he would have already won.
Yeah.
Leshka doesn't even bother playing the second map versus him. Is he gonna play it?
Both players making pretty big bets over who's better at DM5. Leshka right now down to 3 health. The 225s are already gone, already taken. Puffdar taking away the mega health. Does Leshka even really want to show up at red armor here? Well, looks like he's going to be able to get away with it, as well as some weapon. Out of the teleporter, though, Puffdar really isn't able to capitalize on him, though, as he ends up taking a little bit of a spam rocket himself. Look at how defensive both of these guys are being at this point. They're both pieing corners and just looking at angles and going, nope, not going to fall into an easy trap here. So the fact that on wdm5 we saw an almost eventless first minute is in and of itself noteworthy.
And that's surely respect for each other that's caused that. They both have to play their smart. Well, exactly. They have to play their very best Warsaw here, and they have to play intelligently because mechanics, unlike in the rest of this tournament, are not always going to be to your advantage. The stacks right now in favor of Puffdar as he opens up this fight with some ferocious LG. The rockets to follow up, and it's finished off without a scratch on him. Zid a second, misses that rail, still pushing on forward. Rocket finished that.
And that frag coming for free means so much. And look at this, Leshka just able to take off almost all of his life here, coming in for that third frag. But now it's kind of touchy. He's got to take this red armor, and he's got to run with it because he's done damage to Puffdar. But Puffdar is going to be able to recover that fairly quickly. We have split timing on the 225s already at the top of the bridge. But Leshka coming in for the mega of all things, and he's able to make good on it. Barely. Holy crap, that mega could not have come at more of a critical time. Puffdar getting that initial rocket bounce at his feet. He's going to be dropped down towards the red armor. I'm left wondering if Leshka's even going to be able to show up at that red. Doesn't look like it.
Tight like a Chinese Olympic gymnast, I think is the way I would describe that last fight.
So many twists and turns in that reference. Alright, traded rails across the bridge. Wow, that was just...
Yeah. The timing
on
that.
An objective rail. It's like, all right, now we rail each other. Okay, now we have railed each other. Okay.
Well, they're at the level where they might be playing like it were a flowchart. Leshka, easy money for him.
That'll bring him within one frag, but man, this initial LG coming out of Puffdar just absolutely brutalizing Leshka. As we have another drop down for red, and this time I think Puffdar, you really cannot afford to be here. The split timing on the 25s is always just so brutal.
Oh, and he doesn't give away the mega because Puffdar's not on top of it, but still!
What?
What? The stack disadvantage was massive. But he doesn't miss LG. It's inhuman.
This has been well demonstrated already.
What, and even tracking down? What is this? That's not right.
This is where Leshka could easily take him down. And he knows that he's going to get a free red armor out of it as well. So, you know, down here in the mega health room, Puffdar has nowhere to run. But man, again, he just is not missing that LG whatsoever. 22 health, and he used the unkill.
Oh! It's the death beam. That's the thing Tesla was making before he died. Well,
now we know what killed him.
Yeah, it was Puffdar. Puffdar utterly lethal, and I think Leshka's gonna have to rethink many a thing right now, and you can see him right now.
I mean, be fair, I mean, he's hitting 60% railgun himself. Puffdar is so weak, and he can finally push him over, so 4 frags between them. Leshka needs to turn this into a run. He has the stack to justify it, but Puffdar coming around the corner with this riot gun, he's going to be able to take so many chunks off of him immediately. So red armor's going to be up, and Leshka's going to be there, but there's the riot gun to take him on down. 4-7 now. Puffdar is going to just look for free damage, and his initial shotgun not quite so good, but follows it up with 2 beautiful shots. And there goes that run.
They both started off this map with an air of respect, of fear, as we were saying. They didn't want to engage each other, but the floodgates have opened. And the floodgates bear with them a tidal wave of blood.
Tamponic wave, as it were. But Wow, only 3 frags between them now.
All right.
Leshka looking for the yellow armor. He's not going to get it without a fight. He's going to take himself down as well. So Puffdar getting free armor, free mega health. This certainly bodes well for him as we hit our halfway point. You can hear the splishy splashy of Leshka down below, and the trap at the LG. My God, those are the exact traps that will end up winning this for either of them, and it's still up for any of these guys, really.
Oh, you're just getting chunked. And this is one of the beautiful things about all arena FPS games. It is that adaptation you need to make with each and every opponent, where one situation versus me is very different to a situation versus Puffdar. And you can see right there, these fights aren't always Leshka being caught off guard. Sometimes he's taking them, and each and every time Puffdar with the LG is giving him more and more to think about. And it's elsewhere where Leshka's finding openings.
Puffdar's got the lead here, but he's weak. And I don't think he actually knew that Leshka was at the red armor. I mean, he passed right over him, and Leshka didn't go anywhere. He didn't hear the teleporter. He didn't hear any splishy splashy. Where else could he have been? And Puffdar take it down once again. I mean, yeah, sure, it was a telefrag there, but I think it still would have gone that way anyway.
He's hungry for it. He's pushing on into Rocket's all that's needed. And another, perhaps. No, jumps a wee bit too far. 225s there to accept and bolster Puffdar. It's surely going to be a major item trade. Unless Puffdar's... No. Okay. Okay. A little bit weird. Doesn't have the timing quite right there, doesn't realize what he can be doing. Leshka answering back with LG of his own. Most impressive, but still! The stack advantage doesn't matter to this man. He doesn't care.
As well it shouldn't. You really need to commit to be able to do any real damage, especially on a map this brutal. But still down for frags is LG. Not quite on par with Puffdar's. But Puffdar's LG is actually dropping down a bit, down to 40% if you can believe it. But with 14 health, he's looking for damage on the Mega, and he's just going to leave it, looking for 25s afterwards. But nice prediction from Leshka there. Red Armor's going to be back up, and he should be able to make this a fairly easy grab as he closes the gap with Puffdar.
To all that separates them, and 2 minutes 22 on the clock.
Every second of that will matter, especially if Leshka can keep this run going, but he's starting to look a little bit shaken here. I mean, it's really difficult to keep any run running for an extended period of time in Warsaw, but man, he's made so good on this one, able to take away a Mega as well. Puffdar, he's able to grab armor, so that trade could slow things down a little bit, but I don't think if anything could slow down Leshka right now. He does not look like he wants to be slowed down.
That's
I
all right.
think he can make that choice himself.
Don't feel too bad. I've slipped up on my words about 50 times as well than you have. He's still going to win the straw poll. Which is all that matters, of course.
I get a toaster for that.
And I think the separation here as well. Puffdar has looked more impressive in these fights. He would have the highlights of this game. Leshka isn't making those huge mistakes when it comes to major items, where Puffdar just doesn't know what's coming up. The LG war. They're going for Leshka. He's able to close it out with a rail, and I think he's going to continue his march. The charge will not end here. He wants another frag. He'll take it, ripping the skull off of Puffdar's torso.
Puffdar just needs one moment to breathe. And he can't even complain about ping here. He's got the ping advantage over Leshka here. Oh, where did that rail come out of? Did Leshka seriously just fire a rail out of his ass? So
it was a damned quick 180.
Now we know where he keeps his railgun.
And be putting Agent to shame.
Oh, nice little footsie work there on the yellow red, but that'll be Puffdar still taking a
frag,
is the still taking mega health. This could change things for him. He's got 30 seconds to make up 2 frag.
when it needs to change things for him right quick. He's dropping down. There's Leshka, but it's through teleporters, and they'll do that little dance. A frustrating dance, without a doubt, for Puffdar, who now hunts a slow-spawning Leshka. 1 kill, it's overtime. 2, the victory. None, and he's done. Now, through the teleporter, can he do it? The LG, it's enough. The red is well over time, ladies and gentlemen, here in map 1 of the final. Puffdar already with a map advantage. He wants to close this out early.
Where else are you going to see overtime triggered by 16 on 16? 32 frags, and we're looking at an exact tie here as we get into it. But as we get into it, Puffdar is looking at quite a decent stack, but as we have already seen, that doesn't matter too much.
Oh, like a robot, this man is beyond human.
Nice.
He is beyond the mortal coil, and he is beyond Leshka right now. 17-16, of course, it's not a lead worth bragging about by any means. But it's more than Leshka can claim.
Slow. He's going to have to earn it, but this play out of the teleporter, he's just taking a lot of attrition damage. 8 seconds to Mega, cannot rely on it, can't rely on anything really right now, but he looks like he's shaking a little bit and is just begging this Mega to show up and just hoping that it doesn't come with the side of Puffdar. But there's the side, there's the Puffdar, and there's the frag. 18 on 16 now as we're halfway through our overtime, and Puffdar is looking like he's in a good spot here.
You want to wait by yellow? You want to mistime an item? Puffdar says no. In a commanding tone and fashion, 19 for 16, surely it's all over.
It certainly was a bad time to mistime a Mega. It's a worse time to go, alright, maybe if I hang out, maybe I'll just get it handed to me. At this level of play, you just cannot afford to make those assumptions. Wow. The hand has been tipped.
As a
And
caster,
16 to 16 turns into 21 to 16 very quickly. Puffdar taking DM5.
a supremely impressive performance as a